It's Jiwon Park, and today we're going to look at some basic After Effects tutorials. What we're going to look at is masking, color correcting, some basic tracking, and green screening. So here's the end result we want to recreate. So it's kind of like a sci-fi hologram kind of stuff that pops off from your wrist, and it's like a kind of like a floating display system. So let's get this started. In After Effects, I basically uploaded these two videos. This one's the one we're going to work, and this one's going to be the green screen footage. So let's first of all drag this, make a new composition, and drag the green screen footage in here. First of all, we're going to cut some parts. Oops, that's shape layer. So make sure you're in the right layer when you're working on it. First of all, we're going to cut out a section of this video because we really don't need like the whole thing, right? So I think I cut out pretty well. Could be a little smaller. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is in effects and presets, we're going to go type key light, and what it's going to do is basically key out the green screen color. So in screen color, we're going to pick the green screen color. So as soon as you pick a color, like you'll notice that it's trying to key out the green parts, but as you could see, there were shadows and creases in the curtain, the backdrop, and it didn't key out completely well. So you have to come here and manually adjust some values. What I'm going to do is basically clip black here. So you can see that it kind of gets transparent, but like for the purpose of what we want to do, it's going to be a hologram, which is going to be semi-transparent, so it's actually perfect for us. So let's leave it at that, and let's position this in a 3D layer. So what you do is right click, and in here there's an option called 3D layer, and it's going to try to position your video, your footage in a 3D plane. I'm going to adjust this, go to not material options, transform, and I'm just basically going to move this around a little bit like that. So you can move it around, and oops. So these are some things that you just have, like it really just depends on your video. I think I wanna do more like this. Okay, so that looks good enough for me. Also I'm going to scale this just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to use a mask to cut out some parts here because like it's really sharp. This is like a hologram kind of display, so we shouldn't have those hard edges. Let's go again, you know. Alright, so let's make a shape and move the shape just a bit. Oops. Okay, that's good enough. Yep, I think that's good enough. So in order to cut this part of the footage, you have to go here, and instead of add, you have to subtract. So it's like a basic math thing. Like if you like, this is add, so this is like the footage that you want, and this is part you don't want, so you basically cut it out. So after that, I'm going to put some feathers on it because I, again, don't want all the hard edges in here. So I think, yep, yeah, I think that's good enough. Next, since we want to achieve that bluish hologram tint kind of look, we're going to go in effects and presets and type in let's go to color correction, and tritone. This is what I use for the hologram stuff. Oh, let's drag this in. And like whenever you're working on tritone, you should try to change all the 3 colors in here. So since I want the hologram look, let's go pick like a middle shade of blue, so that looks good enough. Highlights should be something that's lighter than the base color, so I'm gonna do this. And shadows, obviously something a little darker than our mid-tone. So okay, yeah, that looks good enough. So so that's basically color correcting. Let's try to make the hologram sort of like a display, the thing that is actually displaying these images. So okay, I'm going to create new solid and make sure like the size is the size of your composition, and let's pick a little darker color here and put this up here. So right now I'm just gonna make a quick mask here, and this is also, notice that it's also add, so it only displays that part of your composition. Actually, let's make the opacity just go down a little bit so it's easier to work at. Alright, so here we go. Let's try to put this on exactly on our wrist. Enough. Alright, second, I'm going to add another mask that basically fades out these areas. So oops, keep doing that. Select this area and basically draw out the mask. And this is going to be subtract again. And feathers like 35 should do. And to add the glowing effect, we're going to go to effects and presets, type in glow, and in stylize there's glow, so let's drag that over here. And glow threshold, I'm going to put 5. Oops. So we want a bit of white on our center, so let's try to make that happen. 30.5, and I think the feather should be a whole lot more. And drag this over here. So it's starting to get here, so I'm gonna pause the video and try to make this you know, better shape. Okay, so we're back. As you can see, I just did like the hologram effect in here so that there's a bit of a whitish glow in the middle, and it fades out at the end. And I also took the liberty to create these 2 circles which are present in our final render. And what I did is basically created a shape layer and made a circle, and right click, go to 3D layer, oops, and adjusted the shape, adjusted where it's positioned, and added blur to it. So that's the two circles that I worked on. And the last effect I'm going to put in here is going to be Venetian blind effect. Let's type it in there. And what this does, I just use it as a little like extra thing. What this does is it creates vertical or horizontal stripes that makes it look more like a computer screen basically. So just the width, oops, it's a little too big. So and a feather. So I'm fairly happy with the result in here, and let's see what happens to our video. Oh no, what's wrong with this layer? So what happens is that like you're going to start noticing that all the work we did has no animation on it. So when as we're moving down and our wrist is moving, our shape is not moving. So and it really breaks the reality of these videos. I mean these effects. So what we're going to do is track our wrist motion and apply it to these layers so that it looks like it actually attached to our wrist, and there's some sort of like a holographic device in there. And we're going to select our base movie, and we're going to, before we do that, I'm going to create a new null object. And what this does is that when I'm done with tracking, data will go to the null layer, so we can apply that, we can parent our work layers to our tracking layer, so it will move according to the data that it's extracted. So let's select our exam movie. We're going to track motion. Notice that I'm just doing one per position. I'm not doing any rotation or scaling. So in this case, I think point tracking is pretty good. And we're going to select the high contrast area, in which case this is where like my skin and the wristband meets. And it's always advisable to try to track the area with the highest contrast, because if not, it's going to have real trouble tracking, and you might have to do it manually, which is very, very time consuming. And let's see, motion source is exam movie, which is my base layer, and current track time transform. And in edit target, I'm going to set the target as null 2. Like I explained, it's all data is going to go to the null 2 layer, and we're going to hit analyze. So it's going to go through every frame trying to find where that high contrast point is, and it might take a while, so let's just wait out. Alright, so we're done, and it looks like it tracked pretty well, so I don't think we need to go back and adjust anything. So once you're happy with your tracking data, we're going to hit apply and apply dimension X and Y. So now all the data is stored in our null layer, and we're going to parent all our working layer to our tracking layer. And in parent option, we're going to hit here and type and select null 2 for all of these. And let's see what's happening. Oh, now it's moving with our wrist. So here's our end result. After that, I basically added in the color transition effect and mask out the hand, and basically the techniques are what we basically look at in our video, and that's it. Hopefully this helps you getting started on your project. Yeah, have a nice day.